e.I.D, a Fugue. It's a contemporary hybrid dance work by Darkroom Contemporary, and it's directed by Louise Coetzer. And it's currently running at the South African State Theatre in Pretoria. It ends on the 23rd of August 2026. This play stages a physical and a digital meditation on human identity, as well as mortality and our very own existence alongside algorithms. So to share a little bit more about the production, we're going to be joined by the curator, director, the filmmaker, award-winning choreographer, Louise Coetzer. Good morning. Thank you for your time at this hour.
Thanks for having me.
Look, it's an apt conversation to be having through the work, given where we are, what happens when you physically disappear, but online that presence continues, and the ripple effects for us as humanity. Just tell us about this concept and how it's literally playing out on stage.
Right, so I'm very interested in this idea of the digital forever, because we really are living between two worlds. We are living in the real world and we're living in a virtual world. Yeah. And the things, the traces we leave behind in the virtual and digital worlds are traces that remain long after we are not here anymore.
That is speaking to a change in conscientizing and consciousness as well, which is a necessary part of our evolution, and it's not something to be feared. So I wonder if we can then speak to some of these themes. It's the hero's journey of sorts that we're going to have to undergo. But there are the darker shadow aspects and also the more enlightened aspects. How do you play with those notions of shadow and light?
Well, the idea of these tensions, again, becomes very interesting, because I feel like we all have shadow selves, and we all have such different parts of identities. And when we start looking into the digital sphere, it becomes even more intensified, the different parts of ourselves that we put out there and the different parts that we hide. So that tension and that contrast between the two is a very interesting space, I feel, to work in.
Yeah, and also where we fit into that picture, right? Are we making ourselves redundant? What is the role of the soul as well? Connection. How do you explore that? Technology is there, it's enhancing, it's making things easier, so we get to learn other skills as well. But I wonder if we can speak to new forms of storytelling then, because there's so much more available and something else is doing it for us even.
Exactly, yes. I think we live in this time where it's so easy to say, oh, everything's been done before, or we've seen everything there is to see.
Yes.
And I don't believe that's true. I think we have new tools available to us, new technologies that have never existed. And these are facilitators in storytelling and theatre making and art making that we can use to offer new experiences and viewpoints.
Okay, thank you for that. That's a perspective shift. I think a lot of people don't really know how to fit themselves into that alongside, this enhancement as well. So on stage, how's it playing out? How are you incorporating the different moves? I mean, you're award-winning choreographer, so this is your forte.
Well, the work is really of a hybrid nature, because it incorporates movement and performance, but it also has a very strong and interesting sound score that was created specifically for, so it takes us on a sonic journey as well, and visually it uses interactive objects that become part of the performance. So we kind of really play with the idea that that machines also become responsive objects along with the performers, and there's another kind of relationship that comes out of that. So I feel like the work has a lot to offer for different viewers who might not just be purely interested in dance, but also interested in experimental theatre, interesting soundscapes, as well as visual arts.
It doesn't take one person to do this. So there's an entire team behind the scenes that are not always forward-facing, and they're putting it all together. The sound score that you mentioned, Njabulo Pungula, I mean, acclaimed in his own right. So tell us about that collaboration and just how you're able to merge your art and find that synergy together.
Yeah, well, I think it's so wonderful that we get to work with a whole host of collaborators on our work. The musicians are incredible, Njabulo along with Inge Beckmann, and then two German composers, Nicholas Visser and Hadrian Scrum, under musical direction of Bryden Bolton. So the score on its own is just this incredible, unique force of sound. Yeah. And then interactive design by Method Lab, who bring interactivity into the work, a whole host of rehearsal directors and stage managers and lighting designers who just really fortify the idea and make the piece come together on stage each night.
Louise, what were you trying to solve in yourself? And what was that journey that you underwent? And how did you then unearth it? Just before perhaps we get into some of the responses.
Well, yes, I think making of work is always a journey of discovery,
Yes.
and it's a searching for answers. It's not an offering of answers. The work doesn't offer answers. It is a process, I think, of seeking and offering a space for reflection, which I think is important.
Yeah, it's a vantage point, and it's a conversation starter, which is what you've done well. And the response since it's open on the 19th, how's it been received thus far? I mean, what are people saying? How are they feeling about it?
Yes, I think we've had really wonderful audiences, really good responses. The work is different. It is not. It is not maybe something that you see all the time on stage. So I think there's already something that draws audiences in because it's unexpected in its visual and its sound presentation. And yeah, it's been really well received here in Gauteng.
In Gauteng. So what happens from Gauteng? Where else will it be able to tour and travel, given that it had such an international collaborative affair as well?
So next on the tour schedule is we travel to Berlin, to Doc Art, to present the work in early September, and then to Artes in the Netherlands to show it there as well.
Okay, great. And that's Heritage Month. So we're going to be showcasing and flying the flag. In terms of how long it's still running for, I mean, where can people also get tickets? Just tell us a little bit more about the times.
At the State Theatre, we still have performances this evening at 7, as well as tomorrow at 3 p.m. and tickets on web tickets.
Okay. Well, Louise, that's a conversation start. I've got so many more questions. And I just wonder, your I don't want to say apocalyptic, but what is your end result with all of this? Is there more hope? Is it more dire? Are we going to other planets? Are we seeing new life forms emerge? What's that end game for you?
Well, all of those things. I think that's the whole point of it, is to just say, what is actually going on here? Let's pause. Let's look at what is happening in the world, what is happening in our lives, how it's all affecting us for real, and start asking those questions and not just get swept up in the wave of going along with it.
Sure.
It's not dystopian, it's not doom and gloom. It's just an impetus for us to hold on to our humanity and not forget that we are not machines. We are humans, and we need to hang on to that.
Does it also encourage us to go back to basics as well, maybe, and just be in relation with nature again? That pace, is that the pace we're actually supposed to be operating in?
Absolutely. I think that's such a strong part of everything that we're dealing with currently, the pressures of a digital age. It removes us from nature, it removes us from real feelings and real relationships, and that's what we have to just fight to keep hanging on to.
Well, let's see how that plays out. It ends on the 23rd. We're joined this morning by Louise Coetzer, of course, e.I.D, a Fugue. It's a performance that unfolds as a choreographic meditation that deals with notions of identity, mortality, existence, with an increasingly digitized world. So it's currently on at the State Theatre in Pretoria. From Gauteng, it's going to Berlin and the Netherlands, as you heard there, to fly the flag for our country. Thank you to Louise for being part of this conversation.